My friend has recently asked me what he can do to improve the sound from his computer when listening to music on headphones. My answer was obvious.
What are you, stupid?
Get an external DAC and headphone amplifier. His reaction was, "What is it and how much is it going to cost me?" So here's what I told him, what I recommended, and what he finally chose. First, I explained to my friend what a DAC is. In short, it's an electronic circuit usually packed in one single chip that converts digital data, meaning zeros and ones, into an analog signal. Every electronic device that has an analog output socket, such as your mobile phone or your computer, or even one of those tiny dongles, has a built-in DAC. In theory, the same zeros and ones should always sound the same after translation, but in practice, they do not. That's why an external DAC in most cases sounds better than the one in your phone or computer. They're simply not the priority for manufacturers. The same goes for an amplifier. You do have a built-in amplifier in your computer, but it's not as powerful and refined as most external ones. And it's because of the extra cost it would require, extra power it would drain, and extra space it would take. If you'd like to know more about DACs, how they work, what types there are, I'll put a link to my Audiopedia post in the video description below.
Boring!
With this out of the way, we started discussing options. He set the limit to not more than $100. This already narrowed down the choice and eliminated some units I was about to start with, such as Fuzzy Audio ZH3, which is around $200 or FIO K11R2R, which is around 175. After a few more iterations, we settled down for a recently launched Aiyima DAC-A7. It's a relatively small unit that won't take a lot of space on your desk. And for just $79, it's hard to beat at the value for money factor. Inside, it has a very reputable Sabre ES9038Q2M DAC chip, Texas Instruments amplifying chip and op-amps, as well as Qualcomm 5.4 Bluetooth chip capable of handling lossless transmission. Op-amps are replaceable, so if you like to tweak your gear, you can experiment with different op-amps later on. The effect is somewhat similar to tube rolling in tube amplifiers and changes sound signature of the unit. DAC-A7 measures very well on all dimensions: signal-to-noise ratio, channel separation, flat response, etc. If you want to learn more about specs, I put them in my written review on loudtakes.com, and I also put the link in the description of this video below. As I've said, this unit is small, but feels pretty solid. The case, the front and the back plates are aluminum.
Contains aluminum oxide.
The bottom has 4 silicone feet, preventing the DAC from moving around your desk and scratching it. At the front, volume knob takes the central place. It's plastic and turns ad infinitum, but with haptic notches every few degrees, it doesn't feel flimsy and gives you the sense of precise control over volume. On the left, we have 2 headphone sockets, 3.5 millimeter and 6.35 millimeter or or a quarter inch for our American friends. Both are unbalanced. On the right, there are two metal rocker switches that most men will appreciate as they resemble those ones on a plane. And which one of us didn't want to be a pilot at some point of our lives? One serves as an on and off switch, the other one switches the signal output between headphones and the line outs on the back, which means this little unit can also serve as a preamp, allowing you to hook up active speakers or an external amplifier and passive speakers. So if you're alone, you can ditch your headphones and rock a desktop party out loud. I should have shown this instead of this, I think. Above the switches, there are status LEDs indicating which signal input is being used right now and volume level reached minimum or maximum. And since I've mentioned signal inputs, let's check the back of the unit, which is pretty packed considering the size of A7. From the left, we have a detachable Bluetooth antenna, USB-C input to connect your computer, optical and coaxial inputs. Then we have line level RCA outputs that provide signal to an external amplifier or power speakers. And lastly, there's a USB-C power socket. This unit requires external power, but any standard USB-C charger outputting 5 volts will do. It's not provided with the unit to minimize costs, but I'm sure you have plenty of them in your desk drawer. And now for the most important part, how it sounds and is it any better than your computer? Well, unless you already have some kick-ass sound card installed in your PC, DAC-A7 will be a significant upgrade. At 1500 milliwatts into 32 ohms, that's 1.5 watt of power. It's powerful enough to comfortably drive any pair of headphones to very loud levels. According to the manufacturer, it's compatible with headphones ranging from 16 to 600 ohms of impedance. I tested them with my standard Bose Quiet Comfort 25 closed back headphones, various IEMs, as well as open back planar headphones like Hi-Fi Man's Sundara, and my recent purchase Verum 2s. And by the way, their review is coming up soon, so make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss my next upload. All those headphones were driven with ease. Perhaps this little amp did not squeeze the last bit of sonic perfection out of them, but I didn't feel I was missing much, especially considering that they were driven by a $79 amplifier. One note to the sound signature. It is quite sterile, so if you have bright sounding headphones, it may be a bit tiresome with longer listening sessions. I also know they could give more authoritative bass, but you need to spend at least 2, if not 3 times as much for the amp to hear the difference. My friend's been using the Aiyima DAC-7A for over a month now and is very happy with what he's hearing. He says the difference in sound quality is night and day. Given it's his first dedicated headphone amp and DAC, I fully believe him. I remember my first encounter with such a device, which gave me a true feeling I entered the high-end world. I wish I could go back in time to those days and experience this feeling again. Now, no matter what element in my sound system I change, the increase in sound quality is only incremental at best. But this is how the law of diminishing returns works in the audio industry. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave your feedback in the comments below. It will help me reach more folks on YouTube and continue growing this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy listening!